The topic of this lesson plan is how a state's population changes over time and what factors may cause that change. This lesson uses techniques from constructive, sociocultural, and cognitive theories of learning. To prepare for the lesson, the teacher must create a Google Documents account so that the students may create a digital spreadsheet and publish it online. This lesson will take place in an Algebra 1 course and assumes the students have completed the main Common Core state standards for 8th grade math. The objective in this lesson is to have students build a linear model of the relationship between the year and a state's population, as well as construct viable arguments and critique the reasoning of others during a class reflection. The technology required for this lesson is a computer, the internet, and a digital spreadsheet. This lesson incorporates Google Documents' free spreadsheet application so that no purchases are necessary and students can access their spreadsheets from any compatible web browser. This access is necessary so that students can view their classmates' spreadsheets as an extension to the lesson. Under the main Learning Technology Integration Program, students who are eligible for free or reduced lunches are eligible for free internet access at home. Also, students who do not have a computer at home are allowed to check out a MacBook laptop computer for home use. This ensures that all students will have access to online spreadsheets needed for the phases in this lesson. The motivating activity will have the teacher and students discuss the internet and its uses. Many children are introduced to the internet by age 11. This number varies dramatically by race, so having a group discussion will allow students, who may not go online often if at all, to hear what other students use the internet for. By making this topic relevant to their lives, the hope is that students will be engaged to discuss what they use the internet for. Example questions the teacher may ask include, have you ever had to search the internet for information or wanted to see what your friend's latest status was? Did you ever wonder if that information was accurate? The goal of the motivating activity is for students to discuss how to judge if information is accurate or not. To lead into the discussion, the teacher will show the students a website of the 2010 United States Census. This website contains a link on the bottom of the page named Information Quality. The teacher will ask the students to make a judgment on whether this site is reputable. The teacher will then give the students a handout which includes the steps involved in creating a digital spreadsheet based on the data found on this website. The teacher will then go through the steps in creating a linear model based on this data. The handout includes questions on critically analyzing the data, such as, is it possible to have a negative population? After the teacher's demonstration, the students will pick a partner and collaboratively work to find a state's population history from 1910 to 2010. They will then work together to create a digital spreadsheet containing a linear model of the found data and use that model to predict the state's population in the year 2020. By having the students find their state's population data online, they must use judgment on whether or not this information is reputable. This is important to research and especially in making future predictions, as a linear model is only as accurate as the data being used. It is possible for students to use the website shown in the teacher's demonstration, but the teacher should not give them the URL of that website. After the students have found their state's population data, they will use the handout to create their digital spreadsheet. This will allow them to follow the steps, but will also give them creativity in choosing the colors and placement of their spreadsheet. The handout includes a scaffold of information so that students must complete some of the steps on their own and aren't explicitly told. The digital spreadsheets will assess how well the students summarize, represent, and interpret data. The students will publish their finished spreadsheets to Google Documents so that their classmates can view it from home. Publishing their work electronically teaches students of any age about technology tools, their uses, and their vast creative potential. Once the students have completed their digital spreadsheet, they will meet in groups of 4 to discuss their findings. This will allow each student to summarize their own results as well as discuss any similarities and differences between the states. Once the group's discussions have gone off topic or become unproductive, the teacher will gather the class for a culmination of the lesson. The lesson will culminate in a class discussion in order for students to reflect on their results. This will allow each student to hear the results of the discussions between the smaller groups. The class discussion will assess how well the students construct viable arguments and critique the reasoning of others, as well as see if the students can interpret what their linear models and future predictions mean. The teacher will facilitate the group discussion by asking open-ended questions including, did you find any trends between each other's results? Why do you think those trends occurred? What do you think the implications of your results are? Do you think it's better to have a growing population or a diminishing population? This lesson uses sociocultural theory by breaking a complex task into smaller steps. Under a constructivist perspective to learning, students work together to build their own knowledge of finding data and interpreting what that data means. A cognitive approach implies meaning is more effective than rote learning. The learners are constructing what their results mean in the culminating group discussion. To adapt the plan for students with learning needs, this lesson is set up for differentiated instruction. The handout can be adapted into a PDF, which can be displayed on a computer, or the teacher can give oral and braille instructions. This allows students multiple options for taking in information and making sense of ideas, and may be necessary for students with individual education plans. To adapt this lesson plan for gifted and talented students, the teacher may ask the student to find a state's population data from the year 1790 to the year 2010. The teacher could also have the student create multiple spreadsheets using counties within a state rather than the state as a whole, giving the student more time to practice the lesson objectives and standards addressed in this lesson. The standards for ELL students in Maine vary by age but are easily adapted into this lesson plan. The teacher may produce the handouts in a translated language or give oral instructions in simpler English. This will allow the ELL student to participate in the lesson as well as complete the objectives and standards. This lesson bridges the digital divide by showing students how easy a computer makes interpreting raw data into a linear model. It incorporates Jenkins' new media literacy skills, including judgment, collective intelligence, and networking, towards a common goal of summarizing, representing, and interpreting a linear model.